One topic that applies to all people, not just riders, is the importance of sleep. We've heard that it's important a million times. And we've heard that we need the standard 8 hours at least a million more times. But for riders, it's even more important than you thought. Hey everyone, I'm Mitch. Thanks for checking out another video. I'm the Fit for Moto guy on YouTube and the certified trainer for iRide supplements. Now here's the thing. We've all heard before that we need to get more sleep, and sometimes we're like, yeah. But in this video, I'm going to tell you why that is and why you need to be taking sleep way more seriously. According to a recent study shown by both the CDC and the Sleep Association of America, nearly 40% of North American adults report sleeping an average less than 7 hours per night. And that seems probable. We lead busy lives and we all have schedules. But what are the effects of that? To understand the effects of the lack of sleep, we need to understand what happens while we sleep. Now here's the thing, we're not going to get way out into the weeds on this whole sleep thing because obviously there are specialists all over the world about this, neurosurgeons, brain scientists, sleep doctors, all that kind of stuff. This would be an insane video to try and do, and I'm not a super expert on this stuff, but I do know a couple things about sleep because I am quite interested in it, so we're going to keep it to the very basics. First of all, when you sleep, your body removes a physical toxic waste from your brain. And I'm talking in the form of like a weight that you can actually feel, not like, is it like a gram or something like that? No. If you sleep on average in 8 hours a night, over the course of a month, your body removes almost a pound of physical waste from your brain. Your fist is about that, well, I mean, depending on, you'll get it, it's a pound. Think of a pound of meat. That's coming out of your head while you sleep if you sleep an average of 8 hours. So if you draw back from that 8 hours and you're sleeping 4 or 5 hours like quite consistently, man, that stuff's building up in there. That's not good at all. So moving down your body, it allows your cells to reorganize and regenerate and get your health back in order and recover. I mean, we know that when we sleep, we recover, right? Well, that's right at a cellular level. So it keeps the filing system going in your head, and as you move down throughout the body, it helps things reorganize, get back to being normal, revigorated, so you have more energy and more balance, and you have more awareness throughout the day. And I know that we all know that if you don't get enough sleep, it can be detrimental. We've heard that a ton of times, but it literally can kill you, right? So it definitely stands to reason then that if you're not getting enough of it, well, that's not a good thing. It's not like an on-off switch, right? It is a gradual sliding scale. Not enough sleep kills you. A lot of sleep is good. Anywhere on that scale, if you're in the lower end, I think we can agree that's detrimental. Starting with your brain. It literally removes physical waste. So again, it stands to reason that if we don't have enough time to do that, it will lead to a large number of detrimental effects, ranging from impaired memory, impaired decision-making, moodiness, irritableness. But moving on to your body, and importantly for riders, a lack of sleep can have seriously impactful results on our ability to recover and improve. So we know if we don't get enough sleep that it's bad for our brains, right? We've come to that conclusion. What about athletes? What about athletics? What about riders? What does that mean in a physical sense on our bodies? Well, there's two ways to attack that. There's either chronic loss of sleep or acute loss of sleep. When you're talking about acute loss of sleep, you can have a decrease in cognitive function, which means your decision making is not as good. So whether that's driving a vehicle, riding your bike when you're at work, your decision making is severely affected with an acute loss of sleep. Next to that is your immune system gets suppressed. So even if you do ride, or maybe you can't because you get sick more, that's not good, right? As well as inflammation. Our joints, our muscles, everything in our body, your body has a harder time fighting that inflammation and bringing it back to a point where you're able to move around and ride and do the stuff that you want to do. Because when you're in a deep sleep, your body has the ability to deliver oxygen to the tissue to help repair everything that gets a bunch of damage while you're going throughout your day. So if you don't get enough of that deep sleep, if it's acutely cut off, well, a lot of that repair progress is halted. But what about chronically? How does that affect us as riders? Well, unfortunately, it gets even worse in a few days of acute deprivation. With a chronic lack of sleep, you can run into serious problems like high blood pressure, diabetes, heart attack, heart failure, or even stroke. Not to mention obesity, depression, impaired immunity, and a lower sex drive. So if we're looking at things just from an acute standpoint, obviously that's not good. We talked about that, especially as riders. It affects a bunch of our stuff really negatively. But when it comes to chronic loss of sleep, Well, I'm sorry to say, dudes, that gets much worse because it's just it goes outside the scope of just riding. This starts to affect our lives in a very, very big way. Everything from our general well-being to our family lives, work, all that kind of stuff. It's worse than just not being able to ride your bike. Okay, so we figured out that this is a pretty big deal. Got it. Is it true that you need an average of 8 hours? What kind of resources can you look for to help me improve my sleep so I don't just get caught in this debacle? So I'm sure you've heard of it before. How much sleep do we actually need? Well, yeah, there's the very general rule of 8 hours of sleep. Genetically speaking, interestingly enough, or at least I find it interesting because I'm a nerd, some people need more than that, right? And some people need a lot less. Like there are some, and I want to say rare because everyone's like, well, I don't need much sleep either. It's pretty rare, but some people do only need about 5 hours a night and they are totally good to go. But again, that's not everyone. It's certainly not me. I find I need about 8.5. If I get around that, man, I am firing on all cylinders all throughout the day. If I get less than that, yeah, I'm a little grouchy and I definitely don't have the energy that I normally have when I get a proper sleep. So that's something to keep in mind. And there are a ton of incredible resources out there when it comes to learning about sleep, but also how to improve your sleep and stuff like that. I'm not even gonna touch on that in this video in particular, maybe in another video, because it's insane how many resources there are out there. I will put a link below to one of my favorite books. It's called Why We Sleep. It's from, I think he's like the world's most leading sleep doctor, brain surgeon dude. It's an incredible book on sleeping. It really knocks home the importance of it. So I suggest picking that up, even just in an audiobook, and you can listen to it while you're driving to the track or you're at work or whatever way you can get that thing in. But anyway, if you're one of the people that didn't see sleep as quite important, if you don't want to listen to me, that's totally cool. Check out that book, Why We Sleep. Trust me, you're going to put sleep a lot higher up on your priority list in life, and I really recommend doing that because it is so detrimental if you don't get the sleep you need. I hope you liked the video. Smash subscribe for me, and we'll see you in the next one.